I think Young Life pretty well started as a community of people who had identified where a need in the community was for young people as well as for adults. The heart was so kids would be exposed to the gospel in a loving, fun environment. One of the themes of Young Life is it's a sin to bore a kid with the gospel. Young Life does it wonderfully.
I think what started it was realizing that there was a need in Bend for a Christian ministry beyond the church and beyond youth groups and Sunday school. There were a lot of kids that didn't attend those things, and Young Life was something that would be more attractive to them.
Basically, Young Life got started as a dream of Ken and Glenna Nelson's and a group of people that they had that wanted to see this outreach in Central Oregon. We got together and began praying about what that might look like.
We were really nervous but very excited. There were 5 leaders and 10 kids at the first meeting. We were off and running.
My wife and I had moved to Bend in 1981. We were looking for ways to get involved in the larger community and in the Christian community. And Young Life just kind of fell into our lap. It just seemed like a lot of fun, you know, for the kids and for the adults, and my daughters instantly began to make friends and attended it regularly and have made lifelong friends.
I think it really got me through high school, kind of shaped who I am today, helped me build a foundation for my faith through college. It was a huge part of my high school years.
I was a kid who grew up without any influence of Christianity or religion or any type of faith. And that was sort of a blessing in a way that I got to pick that myself and didn't have any baggage from it. It was a huge influence for me to get to be involved. I was hungry for it, I think.
I grew up in a home where my parents loved me and cared for me, but as a young teenager, I think I was distant from them. And there were some adults that were interested in me and took an interest in me and invested in me and gave a lot of their lives to me. That made me feel loved and appreciated. Well, I think there was a lot of kind of inner turmoil in my own life in high school. I don't think I would have had that stability if I hadn't have had somebody like Dana who had given himself to me.
It's authentic. It's the real deal. And kids, high school kids, junior high kids, they can sniff out when something isn't authentic. And I think that keeps them coming back. They know that the leaders care about them. They know that, you know, we're here for them.
I think Young Life in Bend keeps going because there's still leaders that love kids. I don't care how supported a kid is at home. It's really important to have somebody who's not in your family that loves you and believes in you and is a safe place to ask hard questions. I am now a middle school teacher. I've been a high school teacher, and I just see the need that kids have for adults who are safe and who care about them. And if that adult that is safe and cares about them also loves Jesus and points them to the truth, there's nothing better than that.
What makes Young Life so compelling, I think, is first Christ himself, the attractiveness of Jesus and the fact that we're all drawn to something bigger than ourselves. And secondly, I think the relational ministry, that it's invested in people. It's not a program, hopefully it's leaders building a lifetime with kids and sharing their life and with them for a life.
When the first staff person was here, giving barely met the needs, and not every time were the needs being met. Some of us wrote a check for the difference.
I would have to say that as a family we decided to choose this and pass up on other opportunities because we believed in it and what we were doing and the impact it can have on a community. Left Seattle and some other careers and chose this. And I thought I might go back to those, but I never was compelled to go back because I believe in what I'm doing.
The most rewarding thing is relationships. All the kids that I've known throughout the years, I mean, to be able to still have friendships with them. I have so many kids who are now adults that I'm still friends with, and that's so enriching.
I mean, was it worth it? I'd go back and do it in a heartbeat.
So if you're thinking about getting involved, I feel like we're all too old and we're all too busy, but it's what matters. It makes such a difference to kids to know that you're too busy or to know that they matter to you. And I think different kids need different things, so we need all kinds of leaders because there's all kinds of kids to connect with.
Somebody's thinking about getting involved. I have a bias. It's called Young Life. I think it's the best ministry out there and they ought to get involved.
We had no clue what Young Life was going to look like when Young Life started. And we're all just thrilled at how Young Life has matured. The future of Young Life is directly in proportion to how the community gets behind it and is committed to it. It still has to be the local community that love their kids and are committed to the well-being, and that the kids are given an opportunity to hear the gospel. Find where God's at work and join Him.